Hi Flosstube, my name is Kim and I am Barbara's daughter. Thanks so much for joining me today on my Flosstube channel. Today I'm going to do a different sort of video than my regular Flosstube. This is going to be a look at all of my kitted projects. I counted them and I think I have 31 fully kitted with fabric and flosses that I have not yet started and I would love to start. I think I probably have to stop buying things because I have so many whips and then these 31 that I haven't started. So I'm going to go through them and show you them. I've already unzipped all of my project bags. I'll put a picture here of what my baskets look like with my kitted projects. So I unzipped them, they're ready to go, and I'm just going to go through and show you them. And if you'd like to comment below which one you think I should start next, I think that would be really fun to see what everyone thinks the best option is for my next start. I'm recording this in June, near the end of June, but I'm going to be playing it for you, posting it for you sometime in July when I am on vacation and unable to film a Flosstube. So chances are pretty good that I won't have started many of these in the 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now till then. But let me know in the comments which one you think, or which ones you think should be on my priority list of new starts. And maybe what I'll do as I go through is make a pile for the ones that I really am anxious to start, and then I'll share those at the end of the video. So I'm going to just get started with my first kitted project. I do also want to apologize if you hear noise in the background. The air conditioner, when it goes on, does make a little bit of noise. It just kicked off, so I'm hoping we have a little bit of time before it goes on again. And I shut the door to the where the unit is itself in the basement, but we'll see. Fingers crossed it doesn't make too much noise for you. All right, the first project that I have actually came in a little bag. It is called the Floral Cup Pincushion Kit, and this is from several years ago. It's a Samplers Not Forgotten kit, and I believe I got it from Kit and Stitcher after one of the Nashville markets. So it comes with the directions and a little cup to finish the stitching in. It has the fabric that is closed up with some pins for the top. They're actually, I don't know how well you can see them. They're very pretty pins. And I don't know what fabric this is. I don't think it's labeled. Let's see. As I open it up, there's also trim, and that goes around the edge of the piece and the floss to stitch it with. And also in here is a very nice wax melt, or waxer, I should say, not wax melt. Nice little heart wax. So this is a very small stitch piece, and I'm not sure how well you can see it on the cover, so let me see if that's a better picture on the tag. It is probably something that would take me a day to stitch, so I really ought to just put that in the pile of things to do just because it would be quick to get it done. So that's number one of my kitted projects. Next up is Pandemic, and I will put a picture here because I have my pattern on Pattern Keeper, so I'm sure most of you have seen it before. It did come out during the pandemic in 2020, and so I am finally going to hopefully get around to stitching it. And I have chosen this, I think it's an XG Designs fabric, Rustic Drab. I did a few trial stitches. I believe I showed this on my last Flosstube. I am using a Silks For You thread. And in my last video, I know I said what number it is because Silks For You doesn't have a name, but they have numbers. I don't recall the number off the top of my head, but if you really want to know, you can leave a question in the comments and I will go back and look it up and let you know. But I got a whole hank of this beautiful red variegated silk from Silks For You. And this is one that I definitely am interested in trying to start because I love using Pattern Keeper. My Kindle's pretty old. It was my son's old Kindle, so I do have to charge it like daily in order to use it. So eventually I'm gonna get a new one, but I'm really like an iPad, iPhone kind of family, so it seems kind of a waste to buy that Kindle for just Pattern Keeper. And I know someone told me, I think Kathy, my friend Kathy, mentioned that there is an iOS app that is similar to Pattern Keeper, so I might check that out, but I really do like Pattern Keeper. So we'll see. So far, other than having to charge it every single day, it's not that bad using the old Kindle that I have. Next project is a Scarlet House called Icy Red, small alphabet, and I actually have a board. It's not this exact board, but it is a similar board to finish this on. And they use a cherry cobbler floss, which I am also using, and they use Picture This Plus fog linen, which I am not using. This is, I'm pretty sure, oh, it's labeled. Yeah, it's Winter Moon by Zweigart, 36 count linen. And I am using the cherry cobbler on there. So that would be a relatively quick one to stitch, one would hope, because it's pretty small. I have a couple small ones here coming up. This is Patriotic Tiny Town. I have done the Honey of a Tiny Town. That's the only one I've finished. So it's the only one I've started too. So I'd like to do this one. And I have a 36 count Shadows linen. This is by Victorian Motto. She does threads, but she also dyes linen. So I did her like fabric of the month for a while. So it's not really the greatest lighting at this time of day, but it's like a grayish color more than a brown. And I just have, let's see, are these the called for colors? I didn't kit this recently, so. It looks like I did put in the called for colors when I had them. And when I didn't, I just substituted. So like they use, for the red, licorice red, and I have Louisiana hot sauce in here. But these will be my colors on the fabric, which I think will work out well. The Tiny Towns use a lot of, well, I guess all heart and hand patterns in general tend to have a lot of color changes. Like I noticed that in the Honey of a Tiny Town, they had a lot of different colors, but the Patriotic one doesn't have as many. There's like 6 or 7 colors, so not too bad. I'm just going to get a board because I think it's gonna be easier to show stuff when I have a board, so I'll be right back with that. Okay, the next pattern is a PDF I printed out, so the copy is not beautiful here, but is Heartstring Samplery Love and Joy. It is a Christmas design. I actually know I've seen a couple people do this recently on Flosstube. I can't remember who exactly. I am using some leftover Gloriana silk in poinsettia that I have along, it's just one color that you use, along with an unknown fabric. It's definitely 36 count. It is probably a silk weaver fabric, also known now as hand dyed by Jim, and I don't know what color it is. So again, these are some fairly small projects that hopefully wouldn't take too long to finish. I do have a lot of large projects, so I probably should start some smaller ones. So we'll see, maybe that'll end up being one that I want to start sooner than later. I have a couple, I would say like medium-sized samplers that I really am looking forward to starting, and this is one of them. It is the Scarlet House. I have a lot of Scarlet House patterns. Little Deeds sampler. And they use gray from Weeks Dye Works fabric, but I'm gonna use sort of a more brown color. This is Hog's Bristle from Fox and Rabbit. And let me just grab the colors to hold up to it. And I am using the called for when I had it, and when I didn't, I just substituted. So that's what I have for the Little Deeds sampler. And I really like this one, and then there's another one coming up that I just kitted up, which is in the other pile, and Catherine Dickinson, I believe it's called. So I'll show you that when I come to it. But they're sort of like a medium-sized sampler, nothing too huge. So we'll see. We'll see what I get to. This one is one I've wanted to do for a long time. It's called Jane Plenderleaf 1838. This is not a small or medium-sized one. It's a pretty large one. 147 by 221. And I have picked out Little Bunny by X2 Design in 36 count. And my floss is a mess here. It's not on the ring, so I'm just going to, as I talk to you, put it on the ring, and then I can hold it up and show you. So it looks like I grabbed the actual floss called for. So it's hard to, you know, sometimes I don't have it and I don't feel like spending money on it when I have other flosses, so I don't always use the called for. I also don't mind substituting. You know, if it's a dark green, I look for another dark green, and it works out fine. No one's going to look at something on my wall and be like, oh, she didn't use the exact green they called for. So as long as it looks good with the fabric, I don't mind making substitutions. But this, I believe, these are the called for colors on my Little Bunny fabric for Jane Plenderleaf. I'm trying to make sure I hold things up long enough because I have a tendency, I think, to go pretty quickly. I've actually had some people comment that they like the pace that I go at. I know that some of us go to Flosstube and we just want, okay, show me your stitching. Don't give me all the extra stuff. And then other people like a longer video. This one will be probably longer just because of how many projects I'm showing you, but I do tend to speak quickly, so I'm trying to make sure I at least hold up the projects for you to see for a long enough period of time. Here is another Scarlet House, Cece Smit, a Dutch sampler. I believe Brenda, Brenda from Brenda and the Cereal Starter, did this one a while ago. And I have 36 count Brenda's Brew, which I think is R&R fabric. I'm not sure I've actually stitched on R&R fabric ever before. And I have, let's see, are these the called for colors? They are definitely not. So I have some Victorian Motto and some Weeks and some Classic Colorworks, but I just grabbed, it looks like I have some of the called fors, but not all of them. And this is what my floss will look like on the fabric for this Dutch sampler. So yeah, like I said, I have a lot of Scarlet House patterns that I really haven't done too many of them, but I have them kitted up and ready to go or on my wish list. So I do think that I ought to get going with some of them. I've done a few smalls, and I'm working on the floral motif sampler right now. So I just haven't really started a lot of the ones I have. All right, this is First Snow by the Drawn Thread, and the pattern is actually on here, so I'm going to hold up, just fold it in half and just hold up the actual picture. So it's a pretty small pattern. It's a winter scene of a tree with some birds on it. This was actually my sister's pattern, and she had the DMC here. I also believe that I don't think she had the fabric with it. She had the DMC, but not the fabric. So I am using X2 Designs Anthracite. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation of that, but I am going to use all of these colors plus white. I don't think white is in here yet for the snowflakes and snow, obviously. So that is First Snow, and it seems like it's a free pattern. It says compliments of the Drawn Thread, so it might have been a freebie that she got somewhere. So That is one that is another small. I'd probably like to start that one sooner than later. So I'm gonna put that in my maybe starting soon pile. All right, this is where it's gonna get hard because I'm gonna be like, oh, I wanna start this one. I wanna start this one. I wanna start this one. This pattern was designed by my friend, Arlene Cohen, who does, she is the designer behind Works by ABC. And this is a sampler, which is not in her normal style of patterns, but she did this sample, Rosanna Dizery. I'm probably doing a terrible pronunciation of that name, 1820. And I love the colors. I don't know that it shows up as well on my camera right now, but I really love the colors. And I found a fabric, it's a silk weaver fabric. It is a Wexford, which is just a different type of linen. Well, is it an even weave? I don't think so. I think it's a linen. This is cinnamon roll, and these are the DMC called for colors. Very pretty colors in this pattern, and I really would like to get this done. It's the kind of sampler that has like a lot of space between motifs, so I don't think this would take overly long to do. It's big, there's a lot. Let's see, what's the size? She does put a lot of information in the pattern about the sampler itself. And I'm just looking to find on the back, of course. I should have looked there in the first place. Stitch count, 219 by 177. So it is a decent size. But like I said, I feel like all the motifs are really generously spread apart. So I feel like that wouldn't take too long. It's like my famous last words. Oh, it won't take me too long to do this. I have more cross stitch than I could ever in my life do. All right, so this one is gonna need a fabric switch. This is Sweetheart Ornaments by It's So Emma. Yep, Fat Quarter Shop. I am currently doing the Star Spangled ornaments, and these are the Valentine's Day ones. I have my own colors that I grabbed that I think I have a couple that are in the called for in the design, but mostly I just grabbed. And I had this on a Zweigart 36 count stone gray linen, but I did just purchase, let me find it, 2 packages of Lori Holt's oatmeal. And I purchased 2 packages because I thought I would need 2, sorry for the opening noises. I thought I would need 2 for the Star Spangled ornaments, but I don't, I only need 1. So, how do we feel about these colors on oatmeal? Because this is 25 count, and although I would have to use 2 threads, it's going very well with the patriotic ornaments, so I don't think that's a problem. So I'm actually going to keep this in there, but stick this oatmeal fabric in the case as in the project bag as well, because I feel like I will just switch to that, and then my ornaments, I know they will be easy to finish in the proper size. That I'm going to use those tins that are on the pattern that they used. So I feel like it would be easier to do if I use the 25 count fabric. So those are the Valentine's Day ornaments, and they also have a Christmas, and I think she said there's one more coming out. And the Christmas ones I didn't love as much as I loved these patriotic and the Valentine's Day. So I was actually thinking of taking some of Lori Holt's stitch card pieces and seeing if I could fit those on the in the same tins. Maybe if I use a smaller I might need to use a smaller fabric, higher count. So we'll see. But for the Valentine's Day ones, I'm definitely going to use the 25 count fabric, I think. Okay, next up is a Mirabilia, and it is Miss Christmas Eve. And I have seen a lot of people over the years stitch this. I love it. I don't tend to like stitching a lot of people, but I did Lady of the Flag. And maybe I'll actually put a picture here of that so you can see my finish on Lady of the Flag. My husband made the frame for me, and it took a long time to stitch it, but I really enjoyed it and I love it. But I don't picture myself with like ladies all over my wall. So although I love the Mirabilias, I don't want to do like all of them, a lot of them, but I really like this one. So when I did Lady of the Flag, I did that on a 32 count fabric. I believe it called for 28 count. I basically did everything that Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, her Flosstube. I did everything she did. I used the same, if it wasn't the exact same color, it was definitely the same count, but I think it was the same color. I used the same beads. She switched to a different type of bead rather than the, I don't know if it calls for Mill Hill or if that's what she switched to. You know, it calls for Mill Hill on this one. So I think we switched it to a different type of beads on Lady of the Flag. So I think I'm a better stitcher than I was then. I'm definitely a more patient stitcher. I'm not in such a rush to get a finish as I used to be. So I had originally kitted this up back when I was in a rush. On 36 count, I was going to use one strand of thread because I didn't want to use two. But since doing the Star Spangled Ornaments and really enjoying that, and that's being done with 2 threads, I definitely think I could do that. So now that's on 25 count though. And so I'm afraid that on 32 count, my 2 threads are just gonna seem too crowded to me. So I might go and do this on 28 count. I'm not sure. Their model is on 32, this model, Desert Sand Linen by Witchelt. They have also, they suggest an alternate of 28 or 14 count. I definitely will do it on a linen because I do like to do, I did the skin 1/1 on Lady of the Flag, so I will do the same thing. So I had this Lakeside linen picked out. It's pecan butter. I've never stitched on Lakeside linen before, so I definitely want to use it for something, but these are the called for DMCs. You can see there's a lot of them and they're very pretty. But I think I might put this to the side and look for a different fabric that is a 28 or a 32 count. Also in this kind of like darker beige color, because I don't think I need to do it on the 36 count. So this is not going to be something to get started right away because I need to change the fabric on that. So that's going in a totally separate pile over there. All right, this is one that I've had and wanted to start for a long time, but it's a huge one. Plum Street Samplers Pink House Sampler. I believe I saw Carol Saltbuck Stitcher stitch this, or maybe she showed it finished. I can't remember, but I love the pink house. The only thing is, every time I stitch a Plum Street Samplers piece, I love them. They're so beautiful. But for some reason, I never finish them. I abandon them. I have done several pieces, gotten a lot done, and then been like, no, I don't like it. I'm not doing it anymore. I have a few finished, and the patterns are easy to read. I don't know what it is about Plum Street, but I know the one in particular that I had started was one of the 3 in the series that she has. I'm blanking on the name of it. I'll put a picture up of the one I'm talking about. It's a patriotic sampler, and then she went on to do 2 more, so there's 3 in the series. And I had that first one like 3/4 done. It was 2 threads on probably 32 count, and I didn't like how bulky it was, and I put it away, and I was like, nope, not doing it. So now I have a 36 count Lakeside Vintage Buttercream, and I have all the called for colors, and I am planning on doing this 1 thread over 2. So this is what it will look like. And I'm not sure why my weeks aren't on the ring, but those are all the threads. And so I think I just need to kind kind of bite the bullet and start this, it's huge. The other thing I was thinking of doing is not doing this whole top part. I don't love the quote. I mean, it's fine. It says, the loss of a father is much, the loss of a mother is more. The loss of Christ is such no other can restore. And that's perfectly lovely quote, but it's also kind of depressing. So I like happy cross stitch, what can I say? So I was thinking of not doing that, just moving the, you know, top border, and then I would have to adjust this tree here, which is taller than the house, would have to shrink down, and possibly this flower underneath it as well. But then I would basically have this big, beautiful pink house on the hill, and I probably would get rid of this wonky deer over here. So you see, I think I would like it better if I made some changes to it. I think it would keep me from abandoning it. So we'll see. The colors are beautiful. I do want to try Lakeside Linens fabric because I never have before, and I have a couple pieces, as you saw in my last for the Miss Christmas Eve, but I've never stitched on it before. So maybe I would try that and just modify the pattern a little bit. I did that with Isabella Jackson, which I think by now you will have seen on my last Flosstube, and it worked out really great. So maybe I'll take some measurements and try and figure out if making that condensed down a little bit will make it easier or harder to find a frame for it. So we'll see. Last in this half of my projects in this basket is Blackbird Designs, What Remains is Love. So here's a look at the pattern. I'm sure many of you have seen it, if not all of you. And I got this from Traditional Stitches with all of the colors. And this is 36 count latte, which I don't know if that was, if I got it kitted. Let's see. I'm just looking to see. They used 35 count straw, but I'm not sure if I asked for this fabric, if I chose it, or if I just got the floss and then I picked the fabric. As I said, 36 count latte. It really looks like it came from Kitten Stitcher, this fabric though, because she doesn't write the dyer on it. She just writes the name of the color, and I think this is XU Designs. So those are the colors. This one, I mean, I love stitching anything Blackbird. It's just super, I think, relaxing to stitch Blackbirds. I don't know why. It's the opposite of how I feel when I stitch on Plum Street. I get a little stressed out with Plum Street. So I definitely do want to work on this sooner than later. I love the colors that Blackbird Designs uses too, the pinks and the greens and the taupe colors. I really enjoy those. I am actually in the middle of working on the Humming of the Bees from Blackbird, so I don't know that I'll start this one right away because I have that one going, which is a big piece. So I don't know, but I really like it. So we'll see. All right, I'm gonna switch things around and pull up my second basket of kitted projects. Okay, so this is All Joys for Thine by Blackbird Designs. I've had this pattern for a very long time. Well, I mean, not that long, but a couple years probably. And I have kitted it up with a fabric from Victorian Motto, and it is called Classic. And I have the called for threads. Again, I just love all the pinks and greens that Blackbird has. So let me show you what that will look like. The fabric looks better from back here, actually. It's kind of bright. It's a nice bright beige. And I liked that with the colors. So that will be All Joys for Thine. I really think that I will stitch What Remains is Love before I do this one. So probably not on the start right away list. Part of me feels like I should just spend some time and start all of them, and then they'll just be whips and I can stitch on anything I want. But it is kind of nice to have some things kitted up that haven't been started too. So I need to find the balance there. This next one is one I spoke about earlier that I have wanted to stitch for a long time, and this is definitely going to go in my want to stitch soon pile, Catherine Dickinson 1840 by Scattered Seeds Samplers. Looks like that. I love the red in there. And they use Picture This plus ale, I think. Yeah. So when I kitted this, didn't have Picture This plus ale around. So I have this other piece of fabric that is by Luminous Fiber Arts, and I don't have the half with the tag on it, so I don't remember what the color is. But it's like a almost orangey like ale is, and these are the called for colors. However, on the other half, since I condensed my Isabella Jackson sampler, that I did stitch on Picture This plus ale. So I'm going to have like another like half of that fat quarter that I don't need to use, and I think it will fit on there. So I might actually swap the fabric out for the called for ale. Ale is one of my favorite Picture This plus colors. It's a nice dark linen and I like that. So I might switch that one, but that's definitely one that I would like to start sooner than later. Here's another one. I want to start them all. I have wanted to stitch this since it came out. Moho Stitches. This is Mary Barton's work. Just love the bird. It's kind of like a half finished bird. Like you don't expect it to be like so skinny there and have this hair that, you know, it's not hair, but it almost gives the illusion of like some of the bird wasn't stitched, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just the way the fabric is. This fabric I think is also supposed to be ale. Yep. And I, again, didn't have it at the time, so I could use my ale for this or for the other one. So I used, I have Heartland by Picture This Plus. And these are the called for colors. It's a lot more modeled than the ale is. And I'm not sure, I mean, I definitely think everything will stand out on it, so I think it's fine. But you know, there's part of me that just wants to stick with the called for in this because I really like the color, the way the colors are in the picture. But as we all know, it doesn't always look the same in real life as it does in the picture. So we'll see how that goes. My next kitted project is a PDF from Heartstring Samplery. It is called Handprint on My Heart, and it says, "You'll always be with me like a handprint on my heart." I am going to do this in blue though, not in red. I like red, but I decided to do it on an XJU Designs Little Dove with blue suede from Weeks. Probably back here actually looks more accurate color-wise. So this is a nice small one. Might be good to take a couple smalls on vacation, get them done, you know, that kind of thing. My pile of things I think I want to start is getting bigger. We'll see. I have the Blackbird Designs book. Let me see what it's called. Winds of Autumn. And in here, I definitely want to stitch this October 31st pincushion. It's just got one color. They use onyx, and I have that color, and I'm going to stitch it on what this is. I do not know. There is no tag. A very pale fabric. I have onyx here. I had some other threads in here because I had some other patterns from the book that I was stitching, but that's what the floss that I'm going to use will look like on there. So that's a super quick one to get done. If I got all these smalls done, I'd have fewer projects in my kitted basket. That could be good. Okay, next project is hands-on design. Let's talk quilting. I already did Let's Talk Stitching, which I just pulled out of my drawer of finishes to show you. I use different colors than are called for. It's on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. I did all the white words and all the white stitching in black instead of white. And I'm gonna do the same color palette and the same idea of changing all the white to black for this one. So I have the other half of the fat quarter, vintage country mocha, and all of the colors that I chose for the stitching one, I'm going to use for the quilting one as well. And then I'm hoping to frame them similarly and then just put them kind of side by side down here in my sewing area. I don't really have anything hung on the walls yet. I have a few things framed that I have to get hung up, but then I have a bunch of things I want to get framed and hang up. So that is Let's Talk Quilting. I will probably not start that anytime soon, but I definitely want to get to it. Okay, running out of room over here, but another small. I'm just going to fold the page because it's a PDF. This is a freebie from Hands On Design. She does a freebie every year for her anniversary, and I've done many of them. This I am going to do on a random scrap of fabric that I have with colors that I just pulled from my stash. And I don't even think you use all of them. I think these colors were for a bunch of different smalls that I was doing around Valentine's Day. So that little one probably would not take more than a day or two to get done. It's called, I think it's called Love You. And you can get all one for every year for, I think, probably the past 5 or 6 years on the Hands On Design website. This is a fat quarter shop pattern. It's So Emma called Granita. And I bought this because I wanted to try the NPI silks. I have never used them before. So I got this kitted with the silks that are used, and there's 4 of them, but you use a couple skeins of each one. So I have a couple extras. These are the colors, and I pulled out salted caramel, and I abbreviated the dyer LFA, Luminous Fiber Arts. This is Luminous Fiber Arts Salted Caramel. And I didn't want it on white. I don't know why. I mean, it looks great on white, but I just thought it might look nice on this color as well. So this is one I'd like to start. I've never, like I said, I've never used the silks, NPI silks, so I'd like to give that a try. So that's that one. Getting close to the end here. This is Bats and Booze. It was a stitch along, a mystery stitch along last year. So I think the mystery is over, but if you don't want to see what it looks like because you never saw it before, then look away. But this is what the pattern looked like. They did like a reveal one corner at a time kind of a thing over the course of 4 or 5 weeks. It's super cute. And I actually have a 36 count steel by XG Designs, and it only calls for a few colors. I have, I think, the call for colors. So that is another nice quick one. And we're getting to the time of year where I think I probably should do some fall stitching, because if you do it in the summer, you can finish it and then put it out for the fall. Another Blackbird Design book that I own is called In Friendship's Way, and I have done a few patterns from here, actually for like smalls for gift exchanges and things, but I have always wanted to do, there's, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 strawberries. Let's see, how many are there? There's this one, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The one on top with the butterfly is 5. That's probably my favorite one. Okay, so there's 5 of them. And I actually have this box if I want to finish it and put them in or whatever, we'll see. I have the called for colors, there's only 4. And I have Fox and Rabbit Eureka 36 count to stitch them on. I have a whole fat quarter here, so plenty for 5 strawberries. So again, those are nice small stitches that I would like to do sometime sooner than later. All right, this next pattern I've never started because I do have trouble with darker fabric. This is Ann Topley 1802, and I really love the way the colors pop on that dark fabric, but I do have some difficulty seeing dark fabric. So part of me wants to just go get 18 count Aida black or charcoal gray and stitch on that. I did have 36 count Picture This Plus Nocturne. These are not the called for colors. These are colors that I picked out of my stash, mostly Victorian Motto. But I'm not sure, I mean, I can see this, but even this on a 36 count, this dark, I don't know. I'm gonna kind of put this whole thing aside and revisit it and see what it would look like in an Aida that was a darker, because I think the darker it is, the better. And I also have to double check my colors because I'm not sure, looking at the colors I picked. At the time, I think I was kitting up a lot of things and I was feeling like I didn't have enough of the colors that I wanted to kit this. So I think I'm gonna put this aside and maybe like double check that that's how I wanna stitch it. In this project bag, I have a bunch of hands-on design patterns. They're seasonal. So this is a summer one. It is called Let's Talk Summer. I have Let's Talk Winter and Let's Talk Spring. I also own Let's Talk Autumn, but I've stitched that. I stitched the smalls in Let's Talk Autumn. So I've not stitched any of the big pieces. I stitched the autumn one on dark black Aida, and that's what I have in here, 18 count black Aida to stitch the rest. I think I have the called for DMC colors in here. But I might go back and do what I did with the quilting ones and stitch it on Country Mocha with black thread instead of the white thread. Because I think that gives it a good contrast just as well as this. And it's a lot easier for me to stitch on vintage Country Mocha than it is to stitch even on black Aida. So we'll see. That might be another one that I have to like investigate how I'm going to stitch that one. All right, this next one, I cannot show you the picture because I just have a working copy of the pattern. I don't have a picture. It is called Stars and Stripes by Blackbird. I'm just writing it down so I can insert a picture here to show you. And I have, it's just 2 colors. They use Deep Sea and Blue Coat Red from Weeks, but I am using Gentle Arts Cranberry and Midnight Dark from Victorian Motto on a scrap of linen. I have no idea what color this is, but it looks like it's the same as that Luminous Fiber Arts one from several projects ago that I said I might replace with Picture This Plus Ale. So I think this is from that same piece of fabric. So that is Blackbird. It's actually Schoolgirl Sampler number 5. Okay, this is a Hands Across the Sea sampler called Ann Morrison, 1830. During the pandemic, this came out and I really just loved the colors. I have all the DMC colors and I have a silk weaver fabric. It is a Delarna, which I've never heard of before. That's the type of fabric it is. To me, it just feels like a regular linen. Actually, I have 38 count, not 36 count, and it is called Parisian Taupe is the color. And this is going to be for Ann Morrison. So that is ready to go. And then I think I've only got 2 more. All right, we're headed into troubled territory again because here I am with Plum Street samplers. This one is Liberty Lodge. Look at that huge house. I love a big house. To stitch it, it's easy, fill in, I just like it. I am stitching this on 36 count, something that I did not label. And it's not a very big piece because you can see this is it. These are, it looks like the called for colors. Yep. So this is all ready to go. It's probably something, it's semi-Americana. It's got an American flag on it. I probably should be working on it right now. But that big, huge house, if I'm gonna do a big house, I think I'm gonna do that pink house. All right, last one. Oh, so I have done one of these hands-on design laundry patterns. And I don't have the pattern I did. These are the two that I have left. So I have that one, and I have that one left to do. And as you can see, they're meant to be done in those kind of blue and mustardy colors, but I switched my colors to go more with what's in my laundry room. So I had a teal and some red, and I did have a mustard, and I did it, the first one, and I will do the others, on this gray fab. Oh, here's the one I finished. I knew I had it somewhere. Okay, this will give you a much better idea of my colors. So this is Laundry, the Never-Ending Cycle, and that one is finished. You can see where I put in the red instead of like the mustard. So I have to do 2 more of those, and I have my kind of modified colors here to do that. So they're all ready to go, and really that's something that I should get going on because I have one done and it's been sitting in this basket, or in this project bag rather, and not getting the rest of them done, which means I could have 3 more pictures hanging on the wall of my laundry room if I just finished those. My mom made me this project bag that has laundry fabric on it. Super cute, right? So that works out perfect for these. All right, so I'm gonna clean up just a little bit, and I'm gonna pull out over the ones that I kind of set to the side as I did this as I wanna start these like sooner rather than later. And we'll see if they match up with what you think I should start next. Okay, I was trying to get it down to 10. I got 13, does that count? So 13 that I think I should really move to the top of the list. The first one, and this is in no particular order, but I picked a lot of smalls. I picked some seasonal ones like Halloween. So this is Bats and Booze. That is one I would like to move to the top of the pile. Next is Granita by It's So Emma, because I want to try the NPI silks. So that is going to the top. If it can be one of 13, can be in the top. I don't know. My October 31st by Blackbird Designs. This is a small, this was like, this could be one night of stitching. I mean, on a Saturday, maybe 2, but that could get done quickly and move that out of the pile. So that's one I'd like to do. My In Friendship's Way strawberries, again, small. Get those done. That would be good. Another group of smalls that I would like to do because I'm kind of knocking out the patriotic ones pretty quickly. So I think I could do these Valentine's Day ones as well pretty quickly. So that is Sweetheart Ornaments by It's So Emma, Fat Quarter Shop. This is not at all small and might turn out to be my nemesis, but I really do want to start Plum Street Samples Pink House Sampler. So that one is in the pile of things that I would like to do sooner than later. Blackbird Designs, What Remains Is Love. That's actually not a super huge Blackbird stitch to do, so I feel like it's manageable. Moho Stitches Mary Barton. Definitely want to do that one soon. Keep in mind, I do have a whip parade that I did like a month or two ago, and I have a ton of huge whips going on right now, so I don't have time to do any of these, but that never stopped any of us cross stitchers, right? Catherine Dickinson, definitely want to stitch this one by Scattered Seed Samplers and placed inside my Flash project bag, which is really my son's, but I stole it. Sorry, Grandma. She made them for him and then I took it. He does do some cross stitch, but he doesn't need quite that many project bags, so Mom took them. Handprint on My Heart, definitely want to get that one done. I'm thinking some of these would be good to take on vacation, small ones. I left in the laundry. I had shown you 2 that I had left to do. Loads of fun and irony. So I should get those done. Here's another small one. First Snow by the Drawn Thread. And my number 13 in projects I really, really want to start, as opposed to just really want to start, is my, and again, I'm going to butcher this name, I'm sure, Rosanna Dissery 1820 by Works by ABC. So, I don't work as much in the summer as I do during the school year, so I am telling myself I'm going to have lots more time for stitching. I do work, but probably about half as many days as I do normally, like 2 or 3 days a week I work. So I feel like that means I can start a lot of things. I'm gonna make a lot of progress. I hope you enjoyed looking at all my kitted projects. I might also come back with a video while I'm away showing you a bunch of finishes that I have. They are not fully finished. They are sitting in the drawer of shame, which is right in front of where I'm standing. But it might be nice to air them out and show you them, and also at the same time measure them for frames and maybe get my act together and get them framed. Most of them need to be framed. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me and spending some time with me looking at my kitted projects. If you want to leave me a comment telling me which one you think I should start first, and it doesn't have to be one of my top 13, feel free. I would love to hear what you think about all of my projects and which one ranks highest in your opinion. Until next time, when I'm back with a regular video, I hope you are stitching and having a nice, relaxing summer. Be well.